Get ready. John is a 45-year-old male presenting to your GP clinic with a 5-month history of a lesion on his cheek which has slowly been getting bigger. You decide to do an excisional biopsy which confirms your diagnosis of squamous cell carcinoma. What risk factors are associated with this condition? Please list 6 specific risk factors. Here's your thinking music. And moving on as well then, what advice would you give John to minimise the risk of developing further skin cancers? Write 4 specific lifestyle modifications. Look, you guys have already smashed that question, so I'm actually going to skip ahead now, save a little bit of time, because it's time to go through the answers. So, this is a question that the college seems to love. So it is a good combination of preventative healthcare as well as something that's really, really common in Australia, which is dealing with skin cancers. I'm not sure where you guys are, but I'm in Mildura, which is about 3 kilometres from the surface of the sun. So we do a lot of skin cancer work here. So the answers you guys have given are absolutely brilliant. So sun exposure, and you can see on the list there is occupational sun exposure. So good to tie it to something a little bit more specific, but certainly sun exposure would be giving you a mark there. Now, it seems to be a little bit hit and miss as to specifying things like acquired immunodeficiency syndrome versus just specifying an immunosuppressed state, but definitely it is on the list. Immunosuppressant medications, and this is where there can be that doubling up there. So again, to try and diversify answers, I'd probably try and pick something from some of the other categories. Smoking definitely is a very big risk factor for skin cancers. As for lichen sclerosis, I would have to double check that. I think I would probably say I'd probably go a different answer first. Certainly on the list here is something like actinic keratoses, which again ties into that previous skin cancer history as well. So some people might be a bit nervous putting both of those 2 answers down. Certainly, Dinesh, you've got some awesome ones there as well of sun exposure. Previous traditions to that area? Not entirely sure what that means. If you're happy to fill me in, though. Genetic predisposition, so strong family history of skin cancers would probably be good there. And I probably wouldn't specify just white skin so much as fair skin, or if you're happy to put down, specify a low Fitzpatrick skin type. Radiation. Yep, sorry, that makes a lot more sense. Yep, understand that. Yeah, perfect. So radiation exposure to that site, definitely. Now, for our next thing, what advice are we going to give John to minimise the risk of developing further skin cancers? Excellent. Avoid excessive sun exposure. Excellent. If I don't know how old you guys are, but slip, slop, slap was deeply ingrained into us when we were growing up, and you've hit the nail there. Now, the SPF 50 Plus is the best available at the moment and what would be recommended. I have popped onto here, though. If we duck back for just a second, I'll see if this link is going to work. No, that's all right. Looking at the handy guidelines, they actually said SPF 30 Plus, which I found to be an interesting little discrepancy. I would probably stick to the SPF 50 Plus, given it obviously offers better protection and is obviously readily available, so I would stick to that one. Stop smoking would be absolutely fantastic. In this situation, though, I think the risk you would take would be it doesn't actually specify that he does smoke, and there is a thing with the exam that they say if they haven't given you information, try not to kind of make some up on your own. So given we don't know whether or not he does actually smoke, I probably wouldn't be putting that one down myself. Excellent. Well done, though, guys.